What if I told you there's a way to capture a man's heart so deeply that it changes everything? It's not about playing games or using tricks. It's about tapping into something profound, something so powerful, it's irresistible. Men fall deeply in love when you show them respect, appreciation, and authenticity. When you tap into the essence of who they are, not just the surface. In this video, I'll reveal the 6 key actions that make a man fall for you like never before. These aren't manipulative tactics. These are timeless principles that speak to the heart of any man. In a world where everyone is trying to fit into molds to be something they're not, authenticity becomes the rarest and most valuable trait. It's so easy to get caught up in the pressure of expectations, societal pressures, cultural norms, even personal insecurities, that we forget the power of simply being ourselves. But when you strip away the layers of pretension, the facades we wear to protect our vulnerabilities, that's where true beauty lies. When you embrace your authenticity, you give others the permission to do the same. Men are not drawn to the person you think you should be, the person who has been shaped by society's standards, or the persona that you put on to gain approval. No, they are drawn to the real you. They want to see your passions, your quirks, your strengths, and even your flaws. Why? Because authenticity creates a connection that is undeniable. It's magnetic. It's powerful. When you walk into a room as your true self, it sends a message to the world that you are confident enough to stand in your own skin. And that alone makes you stand out in a way nothing else can. Think about it. People can feel energy. They can feel when someone is pretending, when someone is hiding behind a mask or playing a role that they were never meant to play. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting to try and be someone you're not, to conform to a version of yourself that doesn't even resonate with who you truly are. But when you show up in your authenticity, there's a lightness, a freedom, and a peace that others can't help but be drawn to. You radiate confidence, and that is what captivates a man's heart. A man doesn't want to fall in love with an illusion. He wants to fall in love with a woman who knows who she is, who is secure in her identity and comfortable in her own skin. He wants to love a woman whose soul shines through every word she speaks, whose actions align with her values, and whose presence feels genuine. Authenticity gives him something real to hold on to. It invites him into a relationship based on truth rather than games and pretenses. When you embrace who you are, when you stop trying to change yourself to fit someone else's vision, you give a man the space to fall in love with you for who you truly are. And in that, you find the freedom to build a love that is not rooted in performance, but in sincerity. It becomes a relationship that is based on mutual respect and understanding, a partnership where both individuals are free to be themselves, without fear of judgment or rejection. Furthermore, embracing your authenticity does not mean being perfect, because none of us are. It means being honest with yourself and others about your strengths, your weaknesses, your desires, and your fears. It means not apologizing for who you are or trying to be someone else to meet someone's expectations. It's about showing up every day as the best version of yourself, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you are secure in your own worth. When a man sees you for who you truly are, beautifully flawed, confidently unique, and unapologetically real, he begins to see you in a way that's much deeper than attraction. He begins to see you as someone worth investing in, someone whose heart is worth cherishing. And it is in that authenticity that true love can flourish, not because you're trying to be someone you're not, but because you're allowing him to love you for the person you were always meant to be. Respect is not a mere gesture. It is the bedrock of any lasting and meaningful relationship. When we speak of respect, it is not about elevating one person above the other or placing someone on a pedestal as though they are above you or deserve to be worshipped. No. True respect is about honoring the essence of who someone is, their character, their strength, their values, and their choices. This is what opens the door to a deeper, more authentic connection. For a man, being respected is incredibly important. It speaks to his dignity and self-worth. Men are not just looking for someone who would admire them for superficial reasons, like their looks or their accomplishments. They long for someone who truly acknowledges their efforts, their struggles, and the way they navigate the world. When you honor his strengths and abilities, you are giving him something far more valuable than praise or compliments. You are providing him with validation and acknowledgement that helps him feel seen for who he truly is. This is what makes a man feel deeply appreciated and respected. When you listen to a man, truly listen, not just to his words, but to the emotions and intentions behind them, you show him that you value his voice. Listening is one of the most profound ways of showing respect because it signifies that you are willing to prioritize his thoughts and feelings. So often in relationships, communication becomes a one-way street where one person dominates the conversation while the other feels unheard. But when you take the time to understand him and really absorb what he is saying, you validate his presence in the relationship. This is an act of respect that builds trust and opens the pathway to deeper emotional intimacy. Respect also manifests in how you honor his choices and decisions. It's easy to feel frustrated or even disappointed when a partner makes choices that don't align with your own desires or expectations. However, true respect isn't conditional. It means accepting that he too has a right to his own path and that his decisions, whether you agree with them or not, are part of who he is. When you respect his ability to make decisions and stand by them, even if they are not the choices you would have made, you are giving him the freedom to grow, learn, and evolve. This type of respect fosters a sense of equality within the relationship and allows both partners to feel valued for their individuality. Respect also requires understanding. It's not about agreeing with everything a man does, but rather about recognizing his humanity. Every person has flaws, challenges, and imperfections, and when you show respect, you acknowledge that no one is perfect. Respect is the willingness to give grace and forgiveness when mistakes are made, knowing that these do not diminish the person's worth. In fact, it is through understanding and accepting imperfections that the respect between two people grows stronger. Respect is not something that can be faked or manipulated. It is earned and nurtured through consistent actions, big and small. When a man feels respected, he feels empowered to be the best version of himself. He doesn't have to prove anything or fight for validation. Instead, he can simply be who he is, knowing that his contributions are valued and his presence is cherished. This creates an environment where love can thrive and where both partners can truly connect on a deep and meaningful level. In the end, respect is the glue that holds a relationship together, for without it, there can be no true love. Men are not seeking someone who will fix them, but rather someone who will stand beside them, believing in them even when they struggle to believe in themselves. There is an intrinsic strength in support that is both empowering and transformative. When you take on the role of a savior trying to rescue him from his challenges, you're not fostering true love, you're placing yourself above him. You're positioning yourself as the one who has all the answers, all the solutions. But this dynamic can create an imbalance. It breeds dependency instead of mutual respect, which is necessary for the growth of a deep, lasting relationship. Real love is built on the foundation of partnership, where both people support one another, grow together, and uplift each other. A man doesn't want to feel like a project. He doesn't want to feel like his worth is only validated when he's fixed or perfect in your eyes. He wants to feel accepted for who he is, faults and all, and loved through every step of his personal journey. This is the kind of love that will cause him to fall deeply in love with you. because he knows that you see him not just for his flaws. There's a remarkable power in simply standing beside him. It's about being present for the highs and the lows, cheering him on in his successes and offering encouragement when he faces setbacks. Your unwavering belief in him allows him to tap into his own strength and realize that he has the ability to overcome challenges. It's in these moments that he'll understand that you are not here to fix him, but to walk alongside him, supporting him as he works through his struggles. When a man knows that someone believes in him with no conditions, he is given the freedom to become his best self. When you choose to support him instead of trying to change him, you unlock something powerful within him, his passion. He will no longer feel the weight of expectation, but instead he will feel empowered to reach for greater heights. You become the catalyst for his growth by simply giving him space to flourish. By showing your trust in his abilities, you inspire him to push past his fears and self-doubt, because he knows you're there to cheer him on. This deepens his admiration and affection for you in ways that no amount of pressure or attempts to fix him ever could. True love doesn't come from fixing someone, it comes from accepting and nurturing their journey. A man wants a partner who understands that life is a series of ups and downs. He needs someone who will not judge him for his imperfections, but will be there to encourage him when he's struggling to overcome his own battles. When you support him in this way, not only do you give him the space to grow, but you also build a bond that is rooted in mutual respect and admiration. You'll see it in the way he looks at you, in the way he values your opinion, in the way he trusts you more with each passing day. When you offer support not as a savior, but as an equal partner, you don't just help him grow, you help the relationship grow. And in that growth, love becomes deeper, stronger, and more fulfilling for both of you. In a world where relationships are often reduced to the superficial aspects of physical attraction and quick surface-level conversations, it's easy to overlook the deeper dimensions that truly foster long-lasting love. But the truth is, real love, the kind that transcends fleeting moments and builds a deep, meaningful connection, begins on an emotional level. The heart of any relationship is not found in what can be seen on the outside, but in the space where hearts meet and connect, where vulnerability is allowed to flourish. Men, like women, have emotional needs that go far beyond the physical. Yes, the physical connection can be powerful, but it's the emotional intimacy that binds two people together in a way that no mere attraction can replicate. Men fall deeply in love when they feel that emotional bond, when they are seen for who they are beneath the surface, and when they are given the space to share their vulnerabilities without fear of judgment. It is in these moments of openness and honesty that a man begins to form a deep, lasting attachment. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, when he knows that his thoughts, fears, and dreams can be shared without ridicule or dismissal, he is drawn to you in a way that transcends mere attraction. He starts to feel something more profound. He feels loved and understood in ways that make him open up his heart and connect with yours on a deeper level. The key to cultivating emotional intimacy is not just about giving him the space to share. It's also about you being willing to open up and share your own heart. It's a reciprocal process. When you let down your guard and reveal your true self, your fears, your hopes, your past struggles, you create an atmosphere of trust that invites him to do the same. This mutual vulnerability becomes the cornerstone of a meaningful relationship. By allowing him to see the real you, you show him that you value him enough to let him in. And that in turn creates an emotional bond that goes far beyond anything that could be built on physical attraction alone. But this emotional intimacy doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, trust, and a willingness to listen. It's not about having all the right words or knowing exactly what to say in every moment. It's about being present, being genuine, and allowing your connection to grow naturally. When you provide a safe space for your partner to express himself without fear of criticism, you encourage him to open up more, to reveal his true emotions and desires. This deep level of understanding and connection is the foundation of true love. Furthermore, emotional intimacy requires a commitment to continuous growth and communication. It's not enough to just have a few deep conversations and call it a day. A lasting emotional connection requires constant nurturing, continual openness, and the willingness to engage in the difficult conversations when necessary. This means being vulnerable in the good times, yes, but also in the tough moments when emotions run high and it's easy to close off. Emotional intimacy is about choosing to stay open and present even when it's uncomfortable. When a man feels emotionally connected to you, when he knows that you are his safe space, the love that blossoms will be powerful and enduring. It's a love built on trust, respect, and understanding, and it will hold steady even in the face of challenges. It will go beyond the physical and the superficial, grounding the relationship in something far more meaningful and lasting. This emotional intimacy isn't just a key to making a man fall in love with you. It's the foundation upon which a relationship can thrive and endure for a lifetime. When a woman inspires a man to be his best self, she taps into one of the most powerful aspects of his being: the drive to grow, to evolve, and to become more than he was yesterday. This is not about changing him, but about unlocking his potential, helping him realize the greatness that lies within him. Men are hardwired for purpose. They are meant to be conquerors, builders, providers, and leaders. Deep inside, every man wants to rise above the challenges of life and leave a legacy, but often that journey can feel lonely or overwhelming. That's where the right woman comes in. A woman who doesn't just sit on the sidelines, but actively encourages and inspires him to rise. What makes this so profound is that it's not about criticism or nagging. Many women fall into the trap of believing that if they push hard enough, point out flaws, or nag about his shortcomings, they'll spark a change. This approach, however, doesn't work in the long run because it's rooted in negativity. It's about what's wrong rather than what could be right. When a man feels constantly criticized or judged, he retreats. But when a woman encourages him with words of belief, when she sees the best in him and reflects that back to him, it ignites something powerful inside of him. He feels seen, heard, and understood. Encouragement is a form of empowerment. It's about giving him the space and the support he needs to grow into the man he's destined to be. It's reminding him of his strengths, of the dreams he once had, and of the person he can become. A woman who inspires a man doesn't have to have all the answers or be the one to make things happen for him. She simply has to be the one who believes in him, even when he doesn't believe in himself. That belief becomes the spark that propels him forward, giving him the confidence to chase after the goals he once doubted were possible. Think about the way a great mentor works. They don't do the work for you. Instead, they challenge you, push you to see things differently, and open your eyes to what you are capable of achieving. When you become that kind of woman in his life, you become a force for positive change. You challenge him to rise above his fears, to push past his limitations, and to aim for the dreams he's kept tucked away. Every man longs to feel that he is capable of greatness. And when you are the one to stir that ambition in him, he will see you as a partner, not just in love, but in life. Inspiring him to be his best self doesn't mean pushing him to be someone he's not, nor does it mean forcing him to conform to expectations. It means helping him uncover the person he is meant to become and encouraging him to take bold steps toward that vision. When you show him that you see him for who he truly is, his potential, his strengths, his passions, he will begin to see himself in the same light. Your faith in him will be the driving force that compels him to strive for more, to dream bigger, and to work harder. The impact of a woman who inspires a man is immeasurable. It is not only the foundation for deep emotional connection, but it also becomes the fuel that keeps the relationship strong and vibrant. A man who feels motivated by the woman he loves doesn't just want to win for himself. He wants to win for her, for their shared dreams and the vision they are creating together. When you inspire a man to be the best version of himself, you not only become the love of his life, you become the catalyst for his greatness. And that kind of love is unstoppable. So ladies, if you want to capture a man's heart in a way that lasts, remember these principles: authenticity, respect, support, emotional intimacy, inspiration, and partnership. These aren't just actions, they're values that deepen the connection and create love that goes beyond the superficial. Love isn't about games or tactics. It's about being real, showing up, and building a partnership that stands the test of time. When you do this, you don't just make him fall in love. You make him want to stay forever.